All right. It's the Mina's House podcast, episode 156. Hey, I'm Mina. Say what?
I'm Shayna B.
I'm Garnett Briscoe, aka Sherlock Homeboy.
And we have Dexter Stuckey joining us in the clutch. Dex, I was all scared like someone's mama. I was like, I hope he's okay. Where is Dex? I'm like, I text you, are you alive?
I'm sorry.
She was really worried, like legit worried.
So I got a text message from Amazon that my box was downstairs. So I run downstairs. The phone was up here. So I run downstairs to get the box real quick. And my neighbor was down there and she fell. So I was trying to make sure she was okay. No. And I didn't know I don't know where she lives. Like which unit she lives in. So I'm like, well, who can I get to help you? I gotta go. I got a show to do.
So you left the little lady?
Yes. Actually, it's somebody else is down there, but she is still down there.
You love us.
I feel bad.
Dex, so it's funny, before you were hopping on the podcast, we were like, oh man, Dex had to talk about Ashanti and Keisha Cole on Saturday.
I actually joked to say you somewhere getting ready for verses.
I've been preparing.
How do you prepare for that?
For verses, I've been listening to all the songs. Like last night, I did all of Ashanti's songs. Like I listened to every song she's ever put out, like her albums. Today, I'm going to do the features, and then Thursday, I'm going to do all the unreleased singles and everything, just to make sure I'm fully vested in verses.
Oh,
the unreleased single, crazy. You can stop.
Dexter, it's only 20 songs, right?
They only get. I was trying to put together my own list to see the best 20. That's what I'm trying to do now. I'm really trying to put together a list because I feel like if I leave it up to her, she'll be putting stuff in there that I'll be like, why would you put that? So I'm gonna get
Ashanti, right?
Yeah.
You're not gonna say that about Keisha. Keisha knows what songs to play.
Keisha got them.
Does she have more than 20?
Yes, she does.
Don't do that, Keisha.
She does.
Yo, when Keisha plays Heaven Sent, I'm gonna shed a tear. Sent from heaven.
I love that song. That's one of my favorite Keisha Cole songs.
Yeah.
That is my favorite Keisha Cole song, Sent from Heaven. Yep, Heaven Sent.
Oh, when Monica played it on her versus battle,
yeah,
it was amazing. So,
but wait, so now that you're formulating your list, are you gonna be disappointed? Like, is she be okay? Oh, I just wanted. Okay.
I wish you would play something that I didn't think you should play.
Your list probably gonna be better than hers.
For sure, I think better singing than she does.
Yo, you know what's crazy? I stopped doing lists because I forgot what artist it was. I was like invested and I did my list and then they like didn't play any of the songs. And it's like when you go to a concert and you wait for them to do a song and they only do like half the song and then they move on. Like, bro, this is your best song. Why wouldn't you play this? Trey Songz does that. And I remember one day I watched the interview. He said there's some songs that he did that he just doesn't like. So he doesn't like to perform them.
Ashanti's like that. Her song like Rock With You, like the All Baby song.
Oh, baby.
Just because of what you just did, I think she says that she doesn't like that song. Like it's like one of her bigger songs, like chart wise, but she doesn't like to perform it. She doesn't like to do it. And I think it's because it's like the lyrics are kind of like baby lyrics. You know what I mean? They're not like
well,
much.
She's not much of a lyricist here, Dexter.
She better sing them lyrics. It's a good song.
So, are we gonna be mad if Ja Rule doesn't show up in some way?
Absolutely not. I mean, he probably should not be there. Like, why is he there? If he should, like, for what reason is he there?
He's on like half the songs.
Yeah, but let Ashanti be in her glory. Ja Rule always trying to do something and it always flops. And that's no disrespect to him. I'm a huge fan of his work, but it never works out in the end for him for some reason. Leave her alone. Let Ashanti prosper on her night. And yeah, don't mind your business, Ja Rule.
What he said.
So no Firefly incidents, right?
Right.
No, as soon as he jumps on the screen, that's all we're going to talk about. Like, are you going to explain that? Like, we want to talk about that.
We want our money back. All right. So let's get into what's in her feed, because I was very surprised to see that a lot of people are interested in the Selena series on Netflix. It's actually been #1 on Netflix for a couple of days now. I didn't realize so many people were interested in Selena.
We love Selena. We love Selena.
Yeah.
Oh my God, I love her
Anything for
too.
Selena.
Yes.
We love Selena.
You know what's crazy? They don't have that part in the Netflix series.
So, so I actually didn't get a chance to watch it yet, but by a couple reviews that I got from it, I'm going to ask you, since you watched it, they questioned like the budget of it a little bit. They said that the budget could have been better or something like that. Is that true from my hearing?
That is so shady.
They say it looks low budget.
A little bit, and they were actually upset. They said that the series is really, really, really good and really dope. They just wish that they probably would have put more, I guess, money for a Selena type project. Did you get that from it?
Oh, wow. I did not get this is low budget from watching this series. I'm kind of flabbergasted by that. I'm trying to think of what they think is low budget. I mean, she's poor in a lot of the the series, because it's it's literally showing them going from being kids and being poor, to riding around this dusty ass car, to now she's finally blowing up. I don't know what people expected. I mean, it's not going to be a movie. It's a series based on her and her family's life and her stardom.
Now, I haven't watched this series, but I will watch it. But I've heard a lot of people, there's a lot of drama behind the scenes between her family and her widow, like her husband at the time. Like, whereas apparently, like, he signed his rights over to her life. I mean, like, he signed his rights over to the family, and they are like, like, okay, fine, we'll take this. And then, like, he wrote like a book about their love story, and then they turned that into like the movie or the series. And like the family's upset about that. And like there were like a lot of petitions. I saw a lot of people like really upset, like saying they hate the family, they don't like the family, and then their team, the husband, like I didn't know that. I didn't know all that was like going on back there like that.
That's been happening for a minute. I mean, if you watch the series, you kind of see the division of it's always been like that, like the family versus the husband, because I mean, Selena's dad was very about Selena and the band, and she always saw him as a distraction almost. Dads, they're worried about their daughters not being focused. You're going to get pregnant. You're going to fall in love and get married at 19 or whatever. So that's always kind of been a division. So I'm not surprised at all to see it kind of carrying even into this, because I also read that her father's going to come out with a book now telling like his side of the story.
I did hear that. And one of the things I wanted to ask you, because it was actually written by a Latina writer, she said that her disappointment in the series is that, because we have this Selena movie that Jennifer Lopez did years ago that took us into her life, that some of the powerful moments where like Selena was showing herself kind of as this strong young artist entrepreneur, she felt like they took that out the series. So I don't know if that's true or not, but the whole article was based on that she felt like they didn't put enough of her personality. It was more about the music and the looking pretty than the stronger moments that would help some young women today.
Well, I did see that a lot of people felt that it wasn't about Selena, which literally the series is called Selena. They felt like they took Selena out of it and made it more about the family. I honestly don't have a problem with that. And to your point, Shayna, I think we have to think that she literally has been singing since she was like 6 years old. So she wasn't this strong, independent woman off the bat. You know what I'm saying? At some point, she's a little girl following her father's dreams and footsteps. And that's what I think might upset some people, that it really more so focuses on the strength of her father and how he really was like kind of like the backbone for that group, but they were kids. No kids have that drive. So it was the father that really was the driving force, you know, the one that, okay, that he got them a new bus, and the one that kept pushing her. And, you know, so I think maybe that's why people are a little upset, but it literally is like, it left off the series with her boyfriend, who she's in love with, being kicked off the tour because, you know, he's their guitarist. So there's a whole nother series. So I'm a little kind of taken back by people having that kind of reaction to it, because there's a whole nother part where literally Selena has to grow into her own. I think at this point she's 18 in her life. Right. So, and she's finally starting to push back on like figure out like what her fashion is. She wants to do an English record, you know? So I didn't see it as like a demoralizing kind of thing as I've seen some people interpret it. I saw it more as we're seeing her more from like a younger perspective. And I think hopefully now in this next series, we're going to see her be a little bit more strong. And the woman that we know to be the woman that broke down the you know, the Tejano music barriers and then even crossover into the English world. But I really loved it.
Yeah, I can't wait to watch it.
It's really good, guys. And it's nice to see like how her family, like I really enjoy that about it. We get to learn that it's really like a family group. Whereas I feel like the movie really focused on her outside of the family. This is really focusing on the struggles that her sister has, being a female drummer, you know, and the struggles that her brother has writing her music. Her brother wrote all her music. That kind of gets lost in the sauce when you watch the movie, because it really highlights like the grandeur of what Selena was. But I've never seen her father and her brother and her sister, even her mother, in like the light that I'm seeing them now. So I kind of like that, you know, that series is exploring how strong her family was too. So are you guys gonna watch it now since talking about it?
I'm gonna definitely watch. I love her.
The night it released, I was there, you know, Friday night after I did my show, like Selena's. So yeah, I loved it. It was great. All right, moving on. So apparently Little Baby hired himself a porn star for his birthday and paid her $16,000. And apparently there's nothing little about Little Baby. According to this sports star. Mind you, he has a girlfriend named Jada. What are your overall thoughts to this?
I don't believe it.
Really?
Not from reading the tweets and everything. I mean, he said he was with his girlfriend on his birthday. She didn't jump out the window and like say no, he wasn't. You know, so I'm gonna assume he was probably doing the right thing. That's just me.
So let me ask you this, because one thing I pointed out, he did say that, but he also never said the girl was lying. He just said like I was with my girlfriend, people doing stuff for clout, and I had to read in between those lines. Like he actually never said that she was lying though. Like he never said she wasn't telling the truth. He gave out things that would make you think he's saying that, but he never said she's lying. And if you look at that one thing that she covered up from him, it says something like, "Why am I paying?" And she basically said herself, like, "I messed up. Like I messed myself up. I'm not going to get this opportunity with other people because, again, I guess that's what happens when you pay 16,000. You trying to pay for the person to keep quiet, and for her to admit like this will now mess me up in the future. That's the only reason why I kind of believe her, because she had to realize her own loss in this. But I'm sure some other rapper or person is going to be intrigued and pay $16,000. Like that's the question I have for you guys, because I asked the guy this yesterday.
Would you?
You Little Baby, you can get it for free. $16,000.
Uh,
Well, I mean, people say that a lot. The whole like you can get it for free line, but that's not always true. Like, yes, you are a little baby. Yes, there are women that are throwing themselves at you, but there are certain things you may want to do that other women like. Yeah, I want to mess with you, but I'm not doing all of that. Like, you're not sticking anything in my ear and all
Yes.
that stuff like that. Like, but if you're paying somebody $16,000, maybe there's some fine print where it's just like, anywhere I want to put it, you're going to allow me to put it there. And she was probably like, okay, I
And
do
she's a porn star.
in the foot when she came out and said it, because you could have got another payday later on. But again, like he said, you're doing it, you're chasing things, you're doing it for clout. Personally, I don't have an issue with it. I mean, yes, it's bad that he cheated on his girlfriend, but like I I think that people are sexual people and people find different ways to celebrate their birthdays. I remember when I turned 16 or something like that. I think I was 16. It was like almost like a rite of passage for me to go buy a Playboy magazine. And I remember like buying it and being like excited to like look through the pages. And I wasn't reading the articles either. I was looking through the pages.
I'm sure you were.
I wasn't. And that was cool to me. Like it legit felt like a rite of passage. So that if he decided this is what he wanted to do to celebrate his birthday with his money, I think that's okay. I think the issue is that it's public now. I think this should have been something that remained private.
Yeah, I mean, I think it is true because Jada, his girlfriend, put up like these little throw up emojis, like with the green face. And plus, like, if he, she's not gonna come out and be like, my man is lying. It makes her look crazy.
Right.
I mean, your man cheated on you with a porn star and paid $16,000. Like, mind you, the other baby mama came out the woodwork talking about, oh, so you'll pay $16,000 for a porn star, but you won't even give me that much money for your son. And I was like, oh my God. I'm not condoning hiring porn stars, but if you're paying your money and this is what you want for your birthday, like, I get it. It's more so, I feel more so bad for his girlfriend.
Yeah,
Like, what you gonna do now, boo? And the porn star even said, like, oh, she'll get 6 cars, she'll be fine, at like a hush gift.
Yeah.
But I would be mortified if my man was out there paying $16,000 for someone else's coochie.
Right.
Like,
and two things. To your point, I believe he did do it because I saw a tweet where somebody tweeted her about you shouldn't take him back, you should do this. And she said something to the effect of, I'll handle him in private, not on the internet. So that's like an admission of it happened because you went in, again, knowing people are looking at your tweets and it is, you went right there. And then back to porn star Garnett, I know you don't believe her, but she had too many details, which is why she did mess herself up. Like, oh, because he had to give me 9,000 through Zelle and then a separate transaction. It was too many details for it to not be real.
Yeah, I get it. As far as 16,000, as far as paying that, if I was a little baby, I mean, I think that's kind of on the low end for what some of these guys actually pay. Nah, I'm just saying, like, a lot of like dudes are willing to do that, and I think in this situation, if this is true, I think he was willing to do it because even in the article, she said he said all about 2 sentences. It's like this is exactly what this is. We get in, we get out, bang bang, mission accomplished. Don't talk about it, and that's it. Like it's people that really just want to get straight to the point instead of courting and taking out on dates, because he could have got it for free. I'm pretty sure he is who he is, but he doesn't even want to talk. He just want to do it.
Couldn't be a porn star. I gotta talk before.
No warm up, no anything.
Right. We gotta like lay in the bed. We gotta rub a little bit. Like, I can't just like, okay, let's do this. I don't care how much money.
That's the point. That's why you got a porn star to do whatever it is that a normal girl probably wouldn't do. She probably didn't done it all.
Now here's
something too, though, just as far as like where we're at, like kind of like in this generation where you really can't do anything. Like if you signed something, like she disregarded all of that if that is the case. So it's really hard to cheat out here, fellas.
You think he had her take a COVID test before?
No.
He-
Yo, you st-
Or how about
no.
an STD test, maybe a screening? Like,
Well,
Oh, I think that's a great question right there.
That's actually a really good
that
question.
that literally crossed my mind. As soon as I heard this, did he use a condom?
Mm.
And I think even that would be, just putting myself in the girlfriend's shoes. I think that would be the bigger question as well. Like, did you use a condom? I mean, were you safe? I mean, if it was on his birthday, I'm sure he got birthday sex from the girlfriend. Like,
was it before or after me?
right? Like, when are you? This is disgusting.
Listen, I'm gonna answer your question. If I'm paying $16,000,
Thank you.
I am not wearing a condom. Tell you that right now. I'm gonna be in my rawest form. I want to feel everything.
Oh, you gonna feel it. You gonna feel them STDs, that COVID. You gonna feel all of that.
Something because 16,000 with a condom. What is this? Are we slow dancing? What is this?
But also that girl, like that means if he paid her $16,000 for sex and she went out there, to Garnett's point, she went out there and put it out there. Like, I know there's clout chase and I understand what that is, but you also just admitted to being a prostitute, and that's illegal. Like, you could go to jail for trying to get likes on Instagram. You know what I mean? Like, that's not smart.
She's a porn star, though. Isn't that what she does for a living? She has sex for money.
No, not quite though. Like when you're doing it like on camera for the money and stuff like that, like that's like a job. But if somebody is soliciting you for sex and you go into that and you let them pay you for sex, that's prostitution.
But this is in Vegas. So I think it's legal in Vegas.
Legal in Vegas.
They knew all the
Legal in
loopholes.
Vegas.
They knew all the loopholes. Okay, let me mind my business.
Look at me with my lawyer brain coming in. Wait a minute, sir.
Loopholes.
We trying to get this girl. We trying to get her locked up. We're trying to make sure she'll get paid a day in her life. I'll say, but I will tell you, there'll be somebody out there to pay her, because she's. I've never heard of no damn Miss London, and I'm sure someone out there has heard of her that will pay her.
Listen, a rumor has never stopped anybody from paying. Like, if that's what they want to do, they're going to do it. That's not going to stop them at all.
Right.
It actually might make it go up, because if little baby say she's worth it, then damn, okay, cool.
Right. He gave her $16,000. That's
look at Superhead. She made a career out of this, and you would think that she did this and she put it all out there, names and dates and locations and everything. She put all the information out there, and yet 20 years later, people are still doing this, and they're still messing with the same woman.
Who was the rapper she was dealing with? The young guy?
Lil Wayne was one of them.
No. Oh my God. Because I remember thinking she was dealing with one of the young little rappers, and I remember thinking Superhead still got it.
Oh, recently. It was recent.
Yeah, I was like, Superhead still got it. She wrote a whole book. Yes.
Yeah, it was like
oh my God. I remember thinking this woman still got it.
It was somebody where it was like, what is he doing?
Right. Well, Columbus Short, right?
Yeah, we know that. They had a bad, messy one.
I forgot who it was.
Rotimi is another one that she's been with too.
Right. I think that's the one that I thought about.
No, the one who I thought it was Soulja Boy. That's who it was.
Oh yeah, she was with him.
Yep.
It was one of the, I remember thinking like, yo, she's still hooking them. And she got a whole book, and these guys just don't even care.
Mm-hmm.
He actually was just with this guy that I don't even know how I follow him. And he's like a young man. His story is like amazing. Like, he came from being homeless to being an entrepreneur. And this dude like put out like a suicide letter because she was going to like put him on blast. And I guess she was allegedly pregnant and was going to keep it. And I guess he's so young. Like, that's what I'm like, girl, you're too old to be doing this to these guys. Like, and he just felt like she was ruining his life and this career that he's now made for himself. And she really put out like articles like she didn't care. But I'm like, girl, you could be his mother. Like,
they knew what they were getting themselves into. They wanted a taste.
Yeah. It's like y'all said, it's 20 years worth of facts of like, this is what she do. So like, if you hopping in that bed, it's up to you.
But it's just the fact that she did this 20 years ago, and like people like had their opinions about it. Oh, look at you! This is why. This is
On
why
the
Mina's
shelf.
like, I love it. The fact that you just
Okay.
like, amazing. But like seriously, the fact that that book came out, people read it, you know what was in there. But there are still women capitalizing on this kind of stuff today. Like rappers are still doing the same stuff. It's like the more things change, the more they stay the
Let's say
same.
the
And
same.
first
Yeah.
Wow.
person who was her. I actually read that book too.
Me too.
I read
That's
it.
why I pulled it
I
out. I wanted to know the business. Wait a minute.
I think
DMX,
I also
Irv Gotti, your boy Ja Rule down here, Dex.
and the fact that you put Ja Rule and Irv Gotti like they're not buddies. Like you don't even know that they're Eskimo brothers now.
Lorenz Tate.
don't know.
Mm. Who's this? F. Gary Gray.
And then remember, she had a
Straight Outta Compton.
long affair with Bill Maher. Remember that? Like she was with Bill Maher for a while.
Lil Zane.
Hey.
What?
That's where I leave the party.
Well,
Right.
you know,
I'm sharing what with who?
she was with Eddie Winslow too for a little bit.
Yeah, she was with him for a while.
Bobby Brown.
Yeah.
She got pictures up in here. I don't even know how you deal with this woman after she put all these pictures of these men in her book.
Wait, so the book goes from all these pictures of all these celebrity men that she's been sleeping with to the baby sitting on her lap.
Yeah. Yeah.
Let you know she got a family to take care of. You understand? Let you know. This book was for a reason.
All right, moving on. My guy Meek Mill. You know, I try to defend him as much as I can, but some things I just can't defend sometimes. It's hard. He's down in Atlanta in his $400,000 car with his $1,000 of jewelry, just signed a major deal with Rock Nation to create a whole nother Dream Chasers label. He sees these little kids on the street selling water like they do in Philly. He pulls down the window, proceeds to record these poor kids, putting them on his social media, and then gives them $20 for the water and tells about 6 little boys to split the $20 within themselves. And Twitter rightfully roasted him. I'm just so mortified at all of this, guys.
I'm conflicted.
I really tried to like make sense of it in my head, but I really just come back to this is fucked up.
You know the part I think that bothers me the most about I take this back. The only thing that I think Meek Mill did wrong in this situation was record it and post it.
That's what I would have said.
I don't think that he was wrong. First off, you're selling bottles of water. Like this bottle of water that you got, I guarantee you it's Poland Spring or Deer Park. Those they run on special if you go to Giant. They're $10 for 3 packs of them. So those waters didn't break those boys' pockets, believe me. Me giving them $20, the only thing you have to go do is take that back to the thing, and you could have invested that to buy more water. Thank him. That's how you split this. And then you guys can have more water to go sell to these people. The fact that you think it's okay to have expectations of somebody else's money is insane. And then we're getting on social media telling Meek Mill that he's wrong for telling these guys to split it or whatever. Meek is not their father. It's not his responsibility to make sure these kids are eating, so forth and so on. I gave you $20 for a bottle of water that I didn't have to give you. You take it, you run with it, you go on about your business.
Yeah, I also believe, I think him telling them to split it is something to teach them something as well. Like work together with the people that you have around. I'm pretty sure that's something he had to do growing up, where I know I had to, break down everything. I get $20. If we all together, that's our $20 for the day, So I'm pretty sure he was trying to employ that too. But
yeah, that was my one issue. Is obviously yes, we all think yes, Sneak probably had more than $20. But again, do you have to give more than $20? No, not necessarily. But I guess that was my thing with him videoing it, because you were videoing it for the purpose of showing yourself doing something good. And it's like that was probably my main issue more than the $20 splitting it. I had a little issue with the $20 splitting it, but I I could get over that. I could get past that because again, I don't know. Maybe you didn't have small bills or any other bills, but $20. I don't know. But you did have more money. But anyway, but the videoing it is like because it goes back to like this whole thing of why do we have to show ourselves always doing something good or whatever. But I will say that also we all know everybody on this Zoom, especially. Meek does do a lot, try to do stuff for the youth and everything. So I didn't want this to take away from that. But yeah, that's probably why you shouldn't video the $20 exchange.
I'm always the kind of person it's like work for your money. From being on this podcast, you guys, I don't think anyone's entitled to anything. I mean, I sit on here and even tell the baby moms that they're not entitled to money, but I just think, and when I saw this, I kind of had the same, I try to give him the benefit of the doubt. Like, okay, maybe he didn't have small bills. I really said that to myself, trying to make sense of it, because there's been plenty of times where I wanted to help out someone on the street and I only had $1 or I only had 50 cents, but I think the way that the kids were begging is what really kind of made me a little upset. Like, the way that they were begging and how he only gave them $20, considering how he's rolling up in his car, I just felt so bad for the kids. And Dex, I get you. Like, it's not their money. He worked hard for his money, but like, I don't know. You couldn't have given them $100, like $50, or like, why even record it if you're gonna give them $20? And then he called them punks or something. What did he title the video?
It was something weird like that.
I do think though, like, back to what you were saying, the part that like it's hard to like defend, and I guess this is the reason why I can't defend him recording it, is because of the kids' reaction. I think like
they were like,
yeah, and then but also like I mean, even the look of the kids, like you could tell they weren't just like out there because they wanted to be. They were out there because they probably needed to be out there. And I think that was my whole issue with him recording this, because like you can look at these kids and be like, you got to do better. You know what I mean? Like I personally, if I was in the car and I gave them $20 and they started talking like that, if that's all I had, I'm like, I'm sorry, like that's all I have. He had no remorse for the way those kids were like begging him and how they looked and clearly like the poverty that they come from. And I think that just shows how disconnected like Meek is. And I think there's a lot of things he's been doing lately that shows that he's really disconnected, including posting his son and like the Gucci set and like the shoes that looked like they were for a grown man, and then like showing like this other kid count bankrolls, and it's just like you've lost it. Like you really don't even understand what you're doing wrong here.
I was just very disappointed. Like I said, I like Meek. That's my friend. I try to make sense of it in my brain, but I just cannot really sit here and defend kids in the street selling water and that face. You roll up in a $400,000 car. Like, these kids could be out there selling drugs or robbing people. They're on the street selling water. You can't give them more money. Mm-hmm. Like, you got them fighting for $20, bro. Like, I can't. I know that it's his money and he's entitled to do whatever he wants and there's no obligation, but like, what, we got to have a bigger heart, y'all, when it comes to kids trying to make a living selling water in the street. Especially like in a pandemic, like they could be out there selling drugs. Like, you really gonna give them $20? Like, help them. I just
that's
I couldn't.
That's why I'm still conflicted, because it's still a thing where I agree with you as well. But who's to say, he didn't feel bad necessarily about it? Or who's to say, everybody that, begs or asks for money is now entitled to it because I feel bad. Like, when does it stop? What if it was 100 kids out there? Like, am I supposed to give everybody $100? So it's like, where do we draw the line? I really thought, $20 for a water that probably cost $1. Is it the most that he could have gave? No, it's not. And I mean, if that's what we're disappointed in, then we probably got to look somewhere else for leadership. But he did give more than what he was supposed to. If he, went to McDonald's and gave somebody an extra 20, I don't think anybody's like really complaining about that, or an extra 20 on top of gratuity that's on the tip. I feel like the kids part, Yeah, it is sad because you don't like anybody begging. You don't like hearing that. But, put yourself in his shoes as well. I don't think saying no when you know you have a lot is a comfortable position to really be in when you always have to hear somebody asking for something.
But why then put your window down? Like, I'm sure it's tinted. Why even stop? I mean, and humiliate those poor kids, who are selling, they're selling water.
Mm-hmm.
You know, um, it really bothered me, and I was just really disappointed in him. I don't know why. It's not my money, it's his money, but I feel bad for those kids.
It's Meek. Everybody care what Meek does, and one
But
day he gonna rub us the wrong way. The next day it's a pattern to Meek. He'll
my
do
whole my whole thing, these kids gonna grow up be like, damn, remember when Meek Mill gave me $1?
Yep.
After I split it with after I split it with my boys, it was like $3.
Put us out there on the internet. Ain't asked
Right.
for our permission.
Watch, that's gonna be a story. Kid gets $3 from Meek Mill and builds empire to help poor kids
Yep.
And
sell
like Jack said,
water.
I think that was my other issue was then you follow it up in the next coming days with like your son in the Gucci outfit. I thought the same thing about the shoes. And then like you put this chain on them. So again, and I'm not saying that you have to live for us, but you also didn't have to record that video for us. So when you like have this kind of social responsibility, it is like this gift and a curse of you living your life in the social media world.
This reminds me, Cardi B posted like an $88,000 purse and people dragged her. I think the downfall of social media is that we're seeing the luxury that these artists are living in the midst of a pandemic
Right.
where some people are struggling to keep up with rent and mortgages.
Mhm.
It's people we have too much time on our hands worrying about what other people do so much. Like Cardi B buying a purse that she can afford and worked hard for, and I'm pretty sure her family's taken care of. She's also, doing stuff in the community. She participated politically. What else do like she can't like?
Right. But I guess the question is just like how we question ourselves. Like, did I have to just post that? Like, did you have to say to us, I'm not sure if I want to buy this $88,000 bag? Like, you know what I mean? I don't necessarily know in the midst of a pandemic with your platform. And again, you are just a person. But that's again, if we ourselves in our lives question, should I have posted that? People don't need to know that. I guess sometimes I just feel like with these celebrities, I don't know if they go through that same thing because your platinum form is magnified. Like nobody's gonna really care if I be like, should I get this $25 dress from Fashion Over or not in the midst of a pandemic? Because I probably don't only got like 20 people. Whoever watches the pod is looking at my Twitter, and that's about it. And again, that would be like, well, did you even have to tweet that though? Like, did you have to tweet? Should you go to Fashion Over or not? Like, no.
Right, right. Speaking of expensive things, Drake's $80 candle. First of all, who's paying $80 for a candle that smells like Drake? You?
Not necessarily that smells like Drake. I really enjoy candles though. Like as far and I'm starting to get into, some of the ones that cost like 20, 30, $40. And it is a big difference. Like it really is a big difference. So I'm interested. I haven't purchased one that costs that much yet, but I'm interested in seeing how these expensive candles, like what's the real reason behind it. So
Okay, so this is what I will say. Like this candle, yes, and I'm like a candle person now. And this candle probably was like $20.
Is that cactus blossom?
No, this is strawberry guava.
Okay.
look at
But
y'all.
I was gonna say, I do know that there are like so for example, Diddy has a candle, I think it's called Bells, that he loves. And it's like the smallest candle. And that candle I think is like, I don't know, like $125 or something like crazy. And supposedly the scent is amazing. I don't know if I'm gonna ever get to that point where I am that into a candle because $20, you don't understand. I had this candle in my cart for like 3 weeks, like looking like woo, and like,
Right.
but I don't know. Like, so I love candles. I'm a candle obsessed. But A, I don't know if I ever spent $80 on a candle. Then B, a candle that smells like Drake. Like, what is that? Like, I don't know what that. And they try to describe something musk, which made me more confused. Like, So is this his scent like when he puts on cologne? So is it really the cologne scent, or is it like his essence of he's kind of sweaty after he came out the shower? Like, what does that mean? It smells like him.
Yeah.
That was literally 4 breaks on the air for me that day. What does Drake smell like? And I went through the list of possible things that he might smell like. I'm like, well, he got to smell like money, you know? So maybe he smells like when you open like a leather box and then it smells like rich, you know, like rich, or maybe he smells like rich sex, like musky, or maybe he smells like Dove. You know how some men, they just be smell like Dove and Irish Spring when they come out the shower. And then I went through like, maybe he smelled like food, like cinnamon, you know, or like
that
maybe,
food he was cooking at that birthday
you
party.
are in my head. You are in my head. That was my next thing. How about if it smells like that mac and cheese that he made with the raisins? So, so I would want to smell it just to see what Drake smells like.
Yeah,
Are you gonna buy it or you want to smell it?
Just smell it. I'm not buying no $80 candle. First of all, I won't buy a candle unless it's on sale. I just bought candles from Yankee Candle. They had 40% off. You won't see me buying that $27 candle. It came all the way down to $15.
I'm pretty sure these candles gonna go on sale too for the holidays.
No.
No.
Gwyneth Paltrow's candle and Erykah Badu's candles, which both smell like their vaginas, those candles sold out, and I think they were like $75 or something like that. They were up there.
Oh, see, I didn't know how much theirs were.
Yeah,
I heard about theirs, but
the actual
buying theirs, and I'm into candles. I really, really love candles. I love scents in general, like candles, colognes, that kind of stuff. Like I really like them. And this past weekend, I spent $200 on candles. So I may spend $80 on a candle. That's
how many candles?
Oh, I racked up. They were $10 each. They were 3 wick candles.
Wait, it wasn't one.
But if you're willing to spend that kind of money, and this is something that you really like, I don't think there's an issue with going out and going ahead and buying that, like a purse or something like that. Like I know it's not going to last forever, but for me, like when it comes to a candle, like a really good candle, I don't need it to last forever. I just need that moment that I get with it, and I'm like, damn, this is a really good purchase.
That's what my problem would be with buying the $80 candle. First of all, I'll smell like Drake is there. You know, so I'm like, smells like Drake. But then like it goes away and it runs out. And then it's like, how about if I really like how Drake smells? What happens then? I gotta go and get a whole nother $80 candle. And knowing him is gonna be limited edition. So you're not gonna get me used to your scent. And then all of a sudden you take that away. It's like when you're in a relationship and you get used to smelling the man, and then all of a sudden the man ain't there. And it's like you want to get him out of your mind, but then certain smells remind you of him, and now you miss him. Like I can't be missing a man I don't even know because I'm used to his smell. So I'm not doing that.
That's funny.
Yeah, I feel that's a pretty good comparison too, because I even feel like the whole candle industry and the way people collect it is sort of like cologne or perfume, like for your house. And I know I'm pretty interested in cologne, so you know I think my most expensive bottle may have been $120, and I love the crap out of it.
Chanel.
Huh?
That was Chanel.
Chanel. No. It was Valentino.
Oh,
Valentino. But that's also something. Yeah, I'm not going to wear it too often, or maybe it's seasonal, and maybe you treat the candles like this as well. So
that's a really good point. Because think about it, we really do. I do at least. I buy cologne every single week. I buy cologne or shoes, like every week, every other week or whatever. Like that's like the thing that I'm into now. So if one of those weeks I decide, you know what, I'm not gonna buy the YSL, which by the way is $100. I'm not gonna buy the YSL. I'm gonna buy an Essence candle that smells like Ashanti. I'm gonna buy that. I'm gonna get that candle.
That smells like WAP. That's the. I'm like, imagine if Drake's candle smells like Badussi.
That's why when they were trying to explain the musk, I was like, I don't know what this means.
We about to find out.
You know he's about to be my coworker.
I know.
They gave him a channel on Sirius XM. So maybe when we get back to the normal, I can smell him in the hallway.
Maybe he'll gift you guys.
Smell him in person.
Listen, I'll capture the essence of Drake in a little bottle and sell it on eBay. I got it.
For the candles.
I got it. The Drake candle?
Yeah, they said through pre-orders, it's already sold out.
Who would buy a candle and they don't know what it smells like?
They don't even know when they're going to get it.
We're in the midst of a pandemic right now, and I was in Bath and Body Works this weekend, slightly pulling down my mask and smelling those candles. I'm going to smell the candle before I ever purchase it. And by the way, if you guys are in the market for candles, mahogany coconut is amazing.
Oh. Wait, so is that why there was a line? So I was at the mall, and I haven't been to the mall because I'm COVID crazy. I don't go nowhere. But we were doing Santa photos with my cousin's daughters. And mind you, Santa was like 35 feet away. I don't even know why we took a Santa photo. I'm like, Santa is in the North Pole. Why did we take this picture? He's literally in the back and he's so far behind, he looks blurry. Yeah. The camera couldn't get both of, all three faces in one picture.
Prepare for this.
And it was like he was all dark. Anyways, so first of all, I went to Lord and Taylor, who's closing down. I've never been into Lord and Taylor. I got $100 shoes
out of business
for $14.
All of the Lord and Taylors.
Well, how come nobody told me? Because I could have got the cologne out of there.
It's been going out a bit. Well, let me tell you what they did do with some of the stuff. They marked it up to then mark it down, if that makes sense.
Can you let me know the last day to go in?
Go in now. It's 60% off. 60.
They're about to be done.
I got
for like probably 2 months.
I got $100 shoes for $14. $14.
Yeah, they have signs. If you've been on City Avenue and the one in King of Prussia, there's signs that say going out of business.
When I tell you I don't really leave the house like that, I live on City Avenue, and there's if you keep
this is in Philadelphia, guys.
Yeah, sorry. I live in this area, but a little bit farther down from the area that Shane is talking about, and I never go past that way. But if we were still working, in the office, I would go that way, but they probably wouldn't be closing. So I guess that is that.
But the point was, when I was leaving Lord and Taylor's with my $100 shoes that I paid $14 for, I saw a line at Bath and Body Works. I said, there is no way I am standing on a line in the middle of a pandemic to get candles. What is wrong with y'all?
Those candles really go. I actually got a couple.
You was on the line?
I wouldn't got a couple.
I was in the line 2 days in a row.
Wait, you went 2 days in a row?
Yeah, because that's the snickerdoodle one.
Yep, snickerdoodle.
I know all the candles in Bath and Body Works. I'm telling you, it was an experience. And to be honest with you, I went up there today because I wanted to exchange one for another. That's the Mahogany.
Oh, that's the Mahogany. Oh.
I would never get that. I feel like that would be too strong.
Yeah,
that might be Drake.
It's very manly.
Yeah, that one kind of reminds me of if you guys ever walked into the Abercrombie.
Yes, I always tell people that.
Stores. It kind of smells like that.
That's what I meant by new leather. Drake probably smells like that. That's kind of what I was trying to describe.
Well, Drake smells like that.
Might get $80.
It's a good smell.
Right. That's what I was trying to describe. Brand new, a new car. That's what I feel like with an expensive new car. That's how I feel like he would smell. Anyways. Moving on, our topic is about family. So I was thinking about this. I forgot what I was watching, but a lot of the times everybody goes through their stuff in their relationships. And sometimes we make the mistake of telling our family members a lot of bad stuff, because normally when bad stuff happens, we complain and then we forget to tell them about the good stuff. So what happens a lot of times in some relationships is your family or your friends start forming these negative opinions about your significant other. So then when you're back together with them, it's here you go with that bum, so they're judging, because you haven't told them the positive things. You've only told them the negative things. So I decided that I kind of wanted to unpack that a little bit for our topic today. So, when you're in a relationship and you apologize to your partner, right, for something idiotic that you did, should you take it a step further and apologize and explain yourself to their family members too?
Shannon, can you start?
I just feel like it's hard because again, this is like you hit the nail on the head. You forgive them, but your family does not. And this is one thing you hear a lot of relationship experts and just people tell you like you don't tell your family. Sometimes we do it out of anger and we're just upset and we need somebody to talk to. You don't tell them, and especially if it's something super bad, unless you're really ready to move on to that for that relationship. I mean, I've made the mistake of doing this in certain. It could even be something small that I probably shouldn't have said about my partner or my mate. And like 2 days later, or again, my one friend calls me a 2 second gangster. I'm like, oh, it's okay. He loved me. We good. But then, it could be my mom or my cousins or my friends are like, no, no, like that's not okay. I actually was watching Sex in the City and thinking about Mr. Big and as a person in my life, and I'm like, that's how my friends feel about him. Like, what are you doing? What are you? Because I've now said these things, some that probably yes are completely forgivable, but and then when you build that library of all these things, they're just like, no, like
Mm.
this person is no good. Like, how can you keep going back to that? It's a very, very hard thin line because again, when you're going through, you want the support of the people you care the most about, but I don't even think them apologizing to your family will make a difference based on the level of what it was and again, there could be some things that they felt about you. Like they could be waiting, be like, I ain't never like her. I
Yeah.
ain't never like him anyway. So that one thing is going to stay there. It could be he forgot to put the clothes in the dryer and then the clothes smell like mildew. But that one thing, see, he's so irresponsible. It's like
Hmm.
it will keep coming back. So it's just a really, really thin line about protecting what you say about your partner and your mate. And I don't think it's an easy answer on that one. Hopefully, yes, if they know they've done something that's truly detrimental to the trust and the foundation of your relationship and you share that, I think it would be big of them to apologize to your family, but I don't know that that necessarily changes the scope of how your family and friends feel about them.
What you said, like the whole time you were talking, like I heard song lyrics like in the background. Like there, everything you just said was so good. It was so profound. It reminded me like a song that oh, "Foolish" by Ashanti. That's what it reminded me of.
Of
Like it
course.
was really giving me those vibes. Keisha Cole could never. Now I think, I think, dang, that was good.
No,
I
you're right. Because I keep running back to you. I got you. I got you.
But I do think like I was watching, and nobody judged me because it's quarantine. But I was watching Keeping Up with the Kardashians recently, and they had Tristan Thompson was on there talking to his girlfriend's mom about like how he hurt her, and she said to him, and this is very profound coming from the Kardashians, but the mom was like, "We're so close as a unit that when you hurt them, you hurt
Hurt
me."
us.
And
Mhm.
like he was like, you know what? I never meant to hurt you. I didn't think of it like that. And like to me, like honestly, if I was ever in this situation, I do think I would apologize to my fiance's entire like our family. I would apologize to the entire family just because I don't even know if they've heard or who knows what, but I know that it happened. And if she's comfortable with me having that conversation with them, I would want to apologize to the whole family. And I don't think that's a normal thing to do. I don't think anybody really does that, but I think
Mhm.
moving the way life is going and the way like we just need to be more on each other, like just as far as units and being more unified, I think that's great to reach across the table like that. We want our politicians to do it, so we should do it too.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's actually a very good point.
Oh, I thought you were about to say kill all that bullshit.
Not because I've never really even looked at it like that as far as just just trying to be the bigger person out of the entire situation even after a mess up. I do think at a certain point though, I mean those words are going to fall on dead ears. So it may be like, what's the point? If you're already going to feel some kind of way about me, and the person may be a good person, and they may have forgiven each other then, but then the family still resent them. I just think it's about maybe you don't. I'm not gonna say don't tell them because you're always gonna be open and honest. But maybe that person has to find out a way to deliver the message too, where it's not hate. If you're seeking advice, get advice. Try to get the best advice. Tell both sides, but don't just tell one side because all you're going to get is one side back, and you can't blame anybody else but yourself because you put it out there.
For me, it's character, you know, and that's why I wanted to have this conversation because it's not something that people normally do. But I think for me, it shows like that the person has character. Whether I'm going to change my mind about them at all, or yes, whether I'm going to change my mind about them or not, you know, it's you care enough about that person to change how I see you.
Yeah.
Because regardless of whether you apologize to family members or not, if you hurt a family member, we're not going to like you. Period. You know, my family is that tight knit. Even my friends, you know, I am that friend that I'm normally the one that's like, yeah, I don't like him. You know, and there's been situations in my friends and my personal life where a guy that I did not like for my friend, he proved me wrong. You know, he got it together, he stepped up, and he showed me a different side of him. And now we joke. Remember when I couldn't stand you, you know, but it's because you was doing my girl dirty, you know, or you was acting up, or you wasn't on your P's and Q's, you know. But for me, it's more so about character and just being mindful that this could affect the relationship that you have with this person's friends or family members. So you want to mend that, you
And they're
know.
with them too.
Right. And that was the next point. You know, there was a situation that I went through with my family, and it changed the relationship between me and my family member
Mhm.
because of something that the person's partner did, you know, and
Mhm.
the person's partner might have apologized to her, but I still felt some type of way about what happened. And not that I needed an apology, but how am I supposed to get over the
Right.
hurt that you caused this person that I love? Now I, you know, now I'm ready to kick down the door, waving the 4-4 for my friend or my cousin or whatever. Like I'm ready to slide through it and, you know, break some glass. We cutting some tires. What we doing? You know, so it's like you can't get rid of that energy to ride or die for your friend or, you know, for your family member or whoever you love.
It's
So
funny. It's funny that like you took it like that route because like for me, like I don't think anything can really happen in relationships that makes me resent the other person's mate. Like, you know what I mean? Like I just don't think I've ever been there. My issue always comes with the core person that I know. So like one of the biggest people that this has happened to is my sister. Like she will tell me situations about something that she's going through with a guy, and I would give the advice. I try not to give people advice because I know like sometimes I may not follow exactly what I'm telling you to do in this situation. But so when I do give advice, it's like I really mean this and I really think you should do this. And so I remember giving countless times giving her advice on the situation and she didn't take it and she didn't listen to it. And I'm like, you coming to me with this and this is really detrimental to you. Like this isn't a good situation to be in, but you didn't listen to what I said. I can't be mad at him because I don't know him. I can't tell him what to do, but I'm very upset with you because you came to me, I gave you something and you didn't take it. And I know it's hard for people to just run and do whatever somebody else tells them to do. But if you're coming to someone with a vent, you should be able, if you really want to vent to a person and asking for advice, you should be ready to take that advice.
Yeah, but that's exactly like what you guys both said is sometimes what that happens definitely affects your relationship
right.
beyond their relationship, your relationship with your family member or friend. Like, I know, I mean, obviously, I've been in this situation myself, but I've had girlfriends that it's like, we're not gonna forgive them, right? Like you're gonna do what you want to do, and
Right.
and sometimes it will get you to the point, depending on what it is, that you get so angry, like, why don't you see this? Why don't you see what we all see? And listen, and you do really kind of get angry and lose. I don't want to say lose respect, but get
No, it gets lost.
yeah,
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
can get to the point where you lose
Yeah.
respect for that person that you do love because you're just so angry based on the situation. But I think the good word was character because to your point, whether or not the family member or the friends are going to forgive you, it says a lot about you to be willing to do that. That and bottom line, like you said, they can say like, I'm never going to forgive him what he did to Shirley, but he did come
Right.
apologize.
He did, right. He did own up and take responsibility for what he did wrong. And it might take a while to rebuild that relationship, but at least I know that you have enough character and you care enough about the person that you both share in common that you're gonna address that. Didn't Big ask her friends for Carrie's hand in marriage?
Yeah, and that was the big thing in Sex and the City. And it's funny because this episode I was watching today was like season 4, where she starts being friends with him again, and they're like, every single one, even Samantha, who's
Right.
friends, is like, "What are you doing? Like, we
Right.
know the history. What are you doing?" And she's like, "No, we just gonna be friends." So they hated this man, and then when it comes down to it, he comes to them like, "Should I go get her? Should I win her back?" And that was like the turning point of it. Again, it showed a lot of his character and
Right.
his time. But don't say nothing smart, Dex, because I see your face.
I gotta say this. I really do have to say this to you guys. I am really blessed to have you guys as female friends. This is a confession of mine. So maybe a month or two ago, I was watching E, and they were playing like some show, or whatever. And then after E went off, the Sex and the City movie came on, and I watched the movie, and I remember Charlotte. I remember Charlotte hit Big in the face with the flowers when he spoiler alert.
Yes. That would have been me.
Spoiler alert, guys. He didn't show up to the wedding. So when Big didn't show up to the wedding, Charlotte was upset with him and hit him with the flowers. And I remember saying to myself, like, I don't think it's really that serious for you to be that upset. Like, I didn't stand you up. I stood up. Like, why was she that mad about it? But now, talking to you guys, I know the situation now. I never watched the show, but I just watched the movie. And now I wanted so badly to ask that question on Twitter, but I didn't want nobody to judge me.
Oh, they were waiting for you.
They would have been.
Episode 4, season 3.
They told you everything.
Wow.
No, but seriously, I mean, when you love somebody, it doesn't matter who it is. It could be a friend, it could be a family member, a sister, a cousin. I mean, it hurts you to see that person hurt. So if someone continually hurts that person, you start hating that person. And it's like, why do you always F up and hurt this person? Like, now you hurt, now I'm mad.
Mm-hmm.
Like, now I'm ready to fight you. And it's right. Like, now we've got problems. So
in my old days.
I had a situation where I literally would not talk to somebody because he did somebody that I knew wrong. I would not speak to him. And my mother was telling me that I was petty and I need to get over it and it's not my business and to grow up. No, I'm not talking to him.
Grow up.
Yeah, my mother's like an angel on earth. She be forgiving people for stuff. I'd be like, Mama, everybody don't need forgiveness, Mom. Listen, people can steal from her. She would be like, well, maybe they need it. No, Mom. They need it more than I did. No, Mom, they stole from you. Call the cops. So, yeah, but it's that kind of thing. Like, Big went and asked her friends, and that showed, oh, I really care about this person. Right. So just, try to normalize apologizing to family members, or at least having conversations like, look, this wasn't my best moment. I didn't make the best choice. I'm hoping that you don't judge me long term because of this stupid moment in my life,
And don't let it happen again.
Right. And again, be careful what you say in your relationships to your family and your friends. Because again, once you forgive them, don't mean they do.
Child, I got to learn that the hard way because I be telling everybody. I be calling Garnett. I be calling Garnett like, do you know what this did? You Scorpios get on my nerves.
You're also the type though, like, if you get to that point where you're like, you really are venting to other people, you're halfway out the door. Like, you're not going to stick around. Like, you
know what I thought, Dex? But there's this thing called love. And you know what? For the life of me, it has hit me. And I really learned that sometimes literally you could be raised up to be a certain person and not take no BS. And then it takes the right person and the right feelings. And next thing you know, you're like, I am really putting up with stuff I never thought I would.
Yeah.
It happens to the best of us.
Definitely does.
Child. And then I'll be telling them, like, do you understand? I have never dealt with this in my life. I have never tolerated this kind of behavior. And you tell them, and it's like, this has happened to them, to Garnett, I'm sure. You tell them this has been something that has never happened to you, but for some reason, you are allowing this one person to do this to you. It's called love. I can't explain it. I won't even try. So, Dex, I'm sure you've been there. Dex, you've never been there?
No, I mean, I get it. I think all of us at some point or another, either we've been there or we're going to be there, because I always think about, like, I always used to be like, my perfect mate would be this, and this. And then it's like, you've created this human being that, like, in the real world kind of really doesn't exist. And like, you put that lens on and you go to any man or any woman or whatever, and you're talking to them, and it's like, well, you don't have this, you don't have this, you don't have this, but I guess I do like these things. And it's like a compromise. And I think that's kind of the cool thing, though, like, especially when it's like, I don't put up with XYZ. And then you start to, like, open up a little bit and put up with it, unless it's like, cheating or buying a stripper or whatever. Like,
Right.
but other
on
things
your birthday
that you ever wanted to do, like, you're doing it. Like, I am about to become an Eagles fan. I am a Cowboys fan, but
my God.
yeah, and I've been. It's weird. It's a really weird thing to even say out loud because it sounds stupid.
That's illegal to say out loud.
Yeah, but it's just like one of those things that, like, being with my fiance and like her family and everything like that. Like, it is like
it's changed you.
Like, I feel crazy. Like, I've loved the Cowboys since I was 8 years old, and now
I was gonna say your fiance might got that WAP. You changed the team.
I don't know. I don't know.
I need to hang out with her.
How you get him to change? You changing team.
Enemy.
Like, and it's not just a team, it's the Eagles.
Right. The Eagles and the Cowgirl.
That's literally what happens. Stuff that you never thought you would do, you're doing, I mean, there was a time where I was like, I would never accept a man with kids, and I've dealt with men with kids,
well, just two.
What?
You're like, well, it's just two.
Right. Now I'm like, oh, well, I could be a stepmom. Okay, I can have 5 kids and be the Kardashians. It's fine. We can have a YouTube channel and just put all the kids together. It's nothing, So thank you guys. It was a great conversation today. Thank you guys for watching and listening. Please follow us on YouTube. Our YouTube numbers are starting to slowly go up. So yes, and thank you to everyone who listens to the audio version. And follow us on social media at Mina's House Pod. And, we'll have one more podcast next week. And then I guess we'll take a break for the last 2 weeks. Shayna's going, I don't want to put your business out there, but we're praying for Shayna. Shayna got a lot going on in her life. So we are gonna take the last 2 weeks off. And Shayna, let us know if you're coming back next week or not.
Yeah.
And but top of the year, we will all be back together. And thank you guys for watching and listening. I'm Mina Say What?
I'm Shayna B.
Garnett Briscoe, aka Sherlock Homeboy.
Dexter Stuckey, aka Dex the One.
And this is the 156th episode of the Mina's House Podcast. Bye.